G'day new starters, welcome back. If you've watched my videos or listened to me speak, it wouldn't have taken you very long to work out that that love is a pretty important deal to me. Through 30 years of pastoral ministry and my desire to reflect adequately on what grace has done in my life, what God's grace has done in my life, I have discovered that which many people have discovered, that the essence of the gospel, the essence of the revelation of God is His love. Yesterday morning I had coffee with my wife. I love my wife, and we have been married for nearly 30 years, and at the end of this year it will be 30 years. And I've got to say that my relationship with my wife has been the context in which I have most come to understand what love really means, and even what God's love really means, as He has revealed Himself into the way that our relationship has developed. And so this morning I thought I would share with you, because I've been reminded of those things following that conversation I had with Emmy yesterday, the three things that I think are most important about a marriage, and therefore most important about love. And these three things work in any relationship and will increase the impact of that relationship upon the people within that relationship whenever they are rolled out. So here's the three most important things that I have discovered about love in my relationship with my wife. And they're actually fairly closely connected, and therefore not difficult to understand. And the first of those three things, which sounds incredibly simple but is really difficult to do, is that love seeks to listen and understand. Usually when we're in a conversation, we're trying to help the other person understand our point of view. But when love is involved, it seeks first to understand what the other is trying to say and do. And what we discover when we seek to understand, when we seek to hear, is that a lot of the things that we've imagined to be true in our relationship, whether it be a marriage or a friendship or even a parental relationship, is that those imaginations are probably not true. And we discover that the other person's perspective on a situation actually has merit. The second thing, as I said, they're very closely related. But the second thing is this, that love seeks to communicate, not control. So very often in a relationship, we have little dysfunctional mechanisms which come into play that we're actually trying to control the situation. Usually we try and control the situation about our own fears. They may not necessarily be perceived as fears, but they tend to be fears about what might happen to me if things don't work out the way that I perceive that they should be. And so we have different control mechanisms. To be honest, my control mechanism most often is to try and assert my position very forcefully. And I've tried across the years to really pull that in. But there are still times that's exactly what I do. If I get frustrated or I get upset, I try and control the situation through the force of my personality. And Emmy, on the other hand, tries to disengage, and she seeks to control the situation by being disengaged from it. And you can imagine how those two dynamics would play out in a relationship. One person trying to assert control over the situation, the other person withdrawing and disconnecting from that situation, and that's never worked. But you know what has always worked for us is every time we'll stop and seek to communicate that which is in our hearts, and to help to reflect not what we think the other person should understand, but genuinely what we are feeling or fearing or perceiving. That's the third issue, the second issue in this process of love. The third issue is simply this: the capacity to let the other person be who they really are. You see, I'm very confident, I learned this in my marriage too, that people deep down long to be better people. They long to be better able to love. They long to be creative and express the dynamic of all that is good in their life. And very often life does beat us down and we put walls around that deep inner self. But in a marriage relationship, in a friendship, or any other relationship, when one person will insist on believing in the best in the other and will insist on creating an environment where the other person can become who they really are, then the other is freed to find that person that they long to be. And that's exactly what God's love does for us. But that is what a marriage can be, and that's what any relationship can be. When we love someone, we commit ourselves to creating an environment where they can become the best person that they can be true to the person that they really, really are. And those three things, when they're kept in mind in any relationship, can help cause that relationship to flourish and grow and develop. And in fact, when you're thinking about the church, if the church is always seeking to be that kind of place, it creates a dynamic where the church becomes a wonderful place to be. Not controlling, listening, and seeking to be a context where others can be the very best people that they can be, to be true to themselves. Thanks for listening this week, and I do hope that as you go out into this week that you'll hold on to those three things and think about them in the context of your most important relationships, and perhaps even broadly in almost any relationship that you find yourself in. Thanks a lot.